Who is the greatest physicist of all time? Prior to Albert Einstein in the 20th century, virtually every serious person would have answered Sir Isaac Newton. And to this day, many people still regard him as one of the greatest, oftentimes in polls right behind Einstein. So who was he and why is he regarded as so significant to this day, given everything that's happened since his passing hundreds of years ago? Well, Newton was born in 1643. He was the son of a farmer who had died just a couple months prior to his birth. He goes to Cambridge University where he studies the classics. He's particularly interested in philosophy. He's captivated by Descartes. And then something happens which should have a very familiar ring to it. The Great Plague comes along and shuts down campus. His part of England is ravaged. So he's forced to be at home for 2 years, not unlike now with social distancing, quarantining, and the like. And in that time, instead of just sitting around or reading, which I'm sure he did plenty of, he invents calculus, which is a then brand new field of math, advanced math. Some of you may take it in high school someday. He discovers through use of a prism that light is actually a combination of all colors. Additionally, he infers, that is, reasons that light is composed of particles instead of waves, and he begins to work on his field of gravity. Now, Newton is most renowned for the law of universal gravitation. So he worked out in this law the way that the elliptical orbits operated for the celestial bodies. Now, celestial means of the heavens, in the sky. So in 1687, he published the Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy, which lays out the laws of motion, which will be covered in slides subsequent to this video, and universal gravity. The book builds on advances in understanding made by Copernicus, Galileo, etc., to explain why the moon orbits the Earth instead of the other way around. So he changed forever the way people looked at the universe. His insights killed off the heliocentric model for good and all. Now, while we're at it, a couple quick interesting biographical details about Newton. He was a very peculiar, very reclusive person, never married. Many people think he was never even romantically involved with anyone. He was fiercely religious, yet he took issue with substantial parts of Christian doctrine, including the Trinity. He once got into a dispute so fierce with someone that he suffered a nervous breakdown, and after that, he withdrew largely from public life. When he died in his sleep in 1727, he left behind no will, but he left behind enough writings to fill 150 novel-sized books. He was that prolific of a thinker. He was that prolific of a writer. He was constantly working and discovering new things. He was an uncommonly brilliant man.